It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
At Crunch Fitness, we know the difference between feeling bad and feeling good. But dialing your ex feels bad.
Sam? Hey, Sam?
But dialing in your fitness routine feels good. Hearing they want to get back together feels bad.
Sam, are we back?
Working your back at Crunch feels good. Having to change your number feels bad.
The number you have dialed is over you.
Lifting a huge number of pounds feels good.
Nice!
So feel good, not bad. Join from $9.99 at Crunch.com or your local Crunch gym.
And
Common man, no show pep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. Yes, a daring approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
you've got to be kidding me.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello.
Just keep battling. And just keep battling. And keep battling.
Quack, quack.
Yeah, Rosie.
Brilliant!
Genius, idiot, moron, imbecile. What a Morris.
Tell you've hunted man, you haven't hunted yet.
Is wearing women's underwear part of your training?
Yeah, baby.
We're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. We're not going home yet, baby! Just...
Timberwolves superfan, KFAN Dan Barrero.
How do you like me now?
We're happy for you.
How about a beer?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing what a sophisticated offensive game plan looks like. You talk about...
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Rosa, you don't know nothing.
You like that? You like that?
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
It must be my spider sense, or as I like to call my gadfly sense, tingling. I was in the production studio with Nordo, and we were talking about how much we enjoy working here at iHeart. And I had no idea we were that deep into the open. I didn't even know we had started. I walk in, and it's getting to that crescendo of Woody Herman and his orchestra. That's a live version of Fanfare for the Common Man, 1974. from Dale Carnegie Hall. And to this day, I've never understood why they named a performance hall after a what do they do when you're trying to pump people up? When you're doing, I say common, you know, like man.
Motivational?
Yeah, motivational. I say common, you say man. I say common, you say man.
Huh?
Motivational speaker. They named a performance hall after a motivational speaker. But, Denby, you know talked about it again yesterday. You know the Aladdin's lamp and the Genie's bottle, rub it 3 wishes, right? We got deep into it yesterday. Matter of fact, my fatal flaw was I didn't realize this until AI told me that no, you can't have the genie pop out and say, hey, 3 wishes, what do you want? The first one you say is, I want 3 more. You can't ask for more wishes, apparently. Well, they didn't tell me that on the front end. They didn't give me any caveat
disclaimer.
Or any disclaimer or any asterisk. But if I did have it, Tenneby, I wouldn't rub it and wish it to be 7:15 Monday night.
Really?
I would just want it to be Saturday, 12:30. Is that no? When's the first game? Is it a 12:30 start or 3:30? Houston versus the Chargers. Yeah. I just want to move to the first games. I can wait that long. I don't need it to be Monday right now at 7.
I just want Friday at 2:55.
Wait, hold on. Give yourself. I haven't had a chance to put up any of my button bars or anything like that. Yeah. Any giveaways today as I do this? But here's what I'll tell you. I had a great open.
No giveaways today, but listen anyway.
Yeah, no, but I had a great open. And now Abbott's going to get on me. He goes, you're not prepared at all. But I had an open I wanted to use today.
Well, the decision making by the company threw you off before the program.
Yeah, I know, but it was. Dang. I always have to have something, and sometimes I don't think of it until I walk into the studio, but I thought of this one as I was relieving myself in the restroom, which is probably more information than you needed to know, but I'd come up with a really good open, something that I'd been really sinking my teeth into, and now I can't remember it now. I blame Nordo. And then you came in, and then I, started talking to you about it. And I did not realize you love this place as much as you do. And so I'm going to start taking after you. That's what I'm going to start doing. Be more and more like you. Actually, I love it here at iHeart. I always have, always. Well, so I'm still here. Why wouldn't I still be here? God darn it! It makes me mad because it was really funny too. I really do believe. I have short-term memory loss, and I don't know what it's from. Neither of us have a very good memory. We've made that, right? Haven't you stated that before? I can't remember if you did or not.
I have a good memory about certain things.
Right.
My wife always gives me crap about, if it comes to, something that happened in the Minnesota Twins World Series run in 1991, I'll remember it like that.
Right.
But, if she told me to do something on her to-do list...
Yeah.
I seem to forget those quickly.
You want me to go over my...
or I'm bad with names. I forget names easily.
You want me to go over my my front side at Loggers Trail 15 years ago when I shot 468?
So that's where you have a good memory.
I can tell you every shot I hit. I hit it to about 6 inches on one. Tap in birdie. Routine 2-putt for par on number 2 from 20 feet. Number 3, the par 3, I missed the green right. I was 10 yards off the green to a pin that was cut kind of tight to that right side. I hit a beautiful little pitch that trickled up to 3 feet, made the putt. Hit a good drive on 4, blocked my approach shot into that bunker on the right side. Back when it was that whole right bunker was a bigger bunker. They made it smaller for a couple of reasons. One, I believe, was because the hole's hard enough as it is. You don't have to have a bunker that takes up an entire side of the green. Plus, the drainage there wasn't as good as it probably should have been. They fixed that, but so water would get into that. It would pool in that bunker, and then would make that dirt kind of hard, right? And it just was bad, right? But I hit it into that bunker. So now I'm in, after a terrible second shot, I flip my bunker shot to about 3 inches. It almost goes in the hole. So I make a tap in there. Back pin on 5. I hit a great drive. I've got wedge into the green. I pop the wedge straight up in the air, and it barely gets on the green. Just a terrible pin. The chip won't, the wedge only goes about 20 yards. I 2-putt from there. Number 6, the par 3 with the grove of birch trees on the left side. You know where they are, right? Those birch trees on number 6, the par 3 at Loggers. You familiar with it?
Yes.
I hit this horrible tee shot, hooking over to their pull hook. It smacks into the trees and spits back out into the middle of, I guess, do they have a fairway on a par 3? But it's out in play. I got 75 yards to the pin. The pin's on the bottom left. I hit the approach shot up to the top of the green. It hangs on that ridge for about what seemed like forever, and then just dives into the hole for birdie. What are the chances of that? Make routine par on 7, another birdie on 8, and then I get to 9. I'm close in 2. I pop up a wedge short of the green. And same thing I did on number 5. And I look at my playing partner and I say, well, I'm just going to have to get up and down. He says, why don't you chip in again? What do you think I did? I chipped in again. Just like I did on 6. 32 on the front. I don't remember a shot on the back of 36, but I remember every shot I took on that front side.
And yet you won't remember where your cell phone is. You probably lost it right now.
Can you call it? Oh, don't do this to me. I had something prepared.
You couldn't even get through the first 10 minutes of your show. And then you revert to your golf game from how many years ago?
We were talking about my memory. And we explained the things we can remember. Oh, I know what my open was. Now, can we start the show all over?
Well, why don't you just tease it for next segment?
I'm going to... Are we ready to tease? Sure. Here's the tease for the show. One of the sales guy basically said, why don't you just get to the point of your story? Give me the short version. I said, you can't do a talk show. You can't be a talk show host if you do the condensed version, the Cliff Notes version of a story. I'll teach you how to do talk radio. Other side of the break. Then, 12:30 to 1, we're going to dive into... I've got controversial Vikings news between... Just so you know, Tennessee, I don't know if this... I'm going to let you in on a secret. My source tells me Vikings-Rams has been moved to Arizona. But keep that under your hat, because it's not supposed to be made public yet.
Above average.
Oh, Abbott, you like that one, don't you?
Yeah, real original. Real original.
Yeah. We'll break and come back with a little Distat Lad on the Fan.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Head over to our contest page and enter for your chance to win a pair of free passes to see Den of Thieves 2 Pantera, starring Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson Jr. It's coming to theaters on January 10th. That's KFAN.com. Keyword contest to enter.
If I didn't know this was AI, I would think it's a Steely Dan cover, wouldn't you? It sounds exactly.
Steely Dan,
it's exactly. My guess is they stole the feel and the sound of it for sure. I don't know if I don't think it's note by note. It's not a recognizable Steely Dan song, but that's why AI is highway robbery is what it is. They just steal, which is okay. I've done it for a living for an awful long time. A lot of ways to get a hold of us. Brad, Sean, Bryant, KFAN text line's the best. 64686. Number of people commenting on that last bit says, why doesn't Abbott leave the radio to the professionals? Doesn't he know Common's been doing this at a high level for a long time? Go drill some holes in the ice, Abbott. Here's another one. Whoops. Great to hear Chad Abbott on the air again. Always sounded like he's never in the office anymore. Came in to earn a paycheck today, huh? So in other words, there are people that are sticking up for the common man. Here's another. New Grum, same old Abbott. Tell him to lay back and lean in, because this is Lean In
It's
Radio.
Lean In Radio.
Here's another one. Me boy, thank you for recanting the tale of your 68 at Loggers Trail, because I get to play about as much golf as Blandon. I live through the shot-by-shot analysis of every round you play. Abbott doesn't know what he's talking about. Tell him to stick to complaining about the Vikings offensive line. Being that we are in the throes of winter, do you know of any indoor golf options that a guy could play to stay on top of his game? Well, Wilbur, 5-iron golf. And your 5-iron doesn't need to be a pitchfork to play there. Go to 5irongolf.com.
That emailer was confusing his bosses, by the way.
Yeah, I think
Swedberg's the one that complains about the Vikings O-line.
Yeah, well, there's that. Here was the bit I wanted to start with. It had nothing to do with this, that, or that. And it's probably not even that good, but bear with me. I'm always looking for a way to make a fast buck, tend to be. That's why I wrote a book. Did the math in my head.
You wrote a book?
Oh, I never tried. By the way, I think I'm at about 100 books remaining out of 5,232. I have 3 full boxes, 26 books to a box. So that's 78. Then I have a handful of loose ones here at the radio station, just in case somebody drops by desperate for reading material or a table leg leveler or a doorstop and they want to buy one. Then I have a handful loose at home from a box I've opened to sell at Stand-Up Comedy, which is another way we like to try to make an extra buck. And a week from today, New Hope Cinema Grill, meat sauce. Did I announce this the other day? He had a self-imposed exile from comedy. He's lifted it. He will join me, Larry Mondello guy, in the very wickedly funny Colleen Justice at the New Hope Cinema Grill. I'll give away tickets next week for that show. We'll give away several pairs. You can find your tickets at cinemagrill.com. Cinemagrill.com. One show only, 7:30. Remember I invited the Twin Cities Stiller and Mira to make their stand-up comedy debut. I asked Frank and Amelia if they wanted to. You'll love this, Tenneby. I sent this text to Frank, because Frank was looking for a way to contact me, and you gave him my phone number, which I appreciate you doing. But this is so good.
You got a good vibe with him now.
Oh, I do have a really good vibe with him. So you'll love this. We text and talk more than most people know. So here's what I did. I sent him a text. I said, this was Monday. So I arranged a change to the start of the January 17th comedy show at the New Hope Cinema Grill to 7:30. You and Amelia will take the stage for your stand-up comedy debut just before 8, the Stiller and Mira of Minneapolis. The two of you can do 10, 15, or 20 minutes, whatever you feel comfortable with. He says, I love the assumptive close and persistence.
I always love that one.
He's funny.
He's sharp, because I didn't know if he'd get that. I'm basically, you're in. You've agreed to it. I got to have you there. He goes, I love the assumptive close and persistence. He said, Mira is a little hesitant. I'm interested, but he said, he's going to, I think he wants to put a set together.
Wow.
I think he's going to do it.
Oh my gosh. You are above average at that.
Then I sent a text to Tommy Olson. Now, I'm desperate to add, right? Tommy Olson. But you know what he said? He has tickets to he's a Gopher Rube, right? He played football.
He played for him.
Yeah, he's going to Gophers, Notre Dame hockey, or whoever they're playing on that Friday. But he still wants to do what he claims as well.
Really?
So there's a day we're going to get at least Frankie V and maybe Amelia, and we'll get Tommy too. But that's going to be for a while. But it's going to be a great show. My guess is Sauce will have all sorts of new dad, new baby material. And so that will be a week from tonight at the New Hope Cinema Grill. Tickets available at cinemagrill.com, and I'll give some tickets away next week in our joint promotion with our friends over there. Jerry's the guy that books me. He's the one. Remember when he brought in all those ribs? Did you eat ribs that day when he brought in those ribs about a year ago? I wish he'd make some. Matter of fact, when I texted him to talk about the show, I said, can you bring some ribs over to my house today? I said, I'll even DoorDash him if you can. And he wasn't making any this past weekend, but that's neither here. But I'm always looking for a way to make an extra buck, Tenneby. And so I came up with an idea several years ago. I do this Horn Has Been Reborn bit. That never caught on. I had Maury Amsterdam guy have his, I think it's his cousin who owns Crown Apparel, makes T-shirts, hats, that kind of a thing. I said, you need to make a bunch of T-shirts that say the Horn has been reborn, and then stand outside U.S. Bank Stadium and sell them, right? As long as they don't have a Viking logo, right? If you can make a purple T-shirt, a gold T-shirt, and just say the Horn has been reborn. I think he sold 2. And I don't know how that didn't sell more, because it's like the Roar has been restored. I think the Horn has been reborn. I thought that was a surefire slogan. Do you like it at all?
I did like it.
Yeah, I think it's really good. The Horn has been reborn.
You didn't pound it in the ground enough.
I think that's probably the problem. Well, you know me, I don't like to pound things.
No, you don't like to
repeat things and do the same things over and over again. Now I've come up with another idea. There was a time when I would play golf, I would be so excited about this. Worlds, and I came up with this bit, where you're so excited to play golf. I get so excited, I start to hyperventilate. You ever get so excited about something, you start to actually hyperventilate? And so we said... Well,
that's when I hit a fairway.
Right. And you should have a brown paper bag with you to breathe, right? Because you take the bag and put it over... It's the only way you can catch your breath and not have a heart attack. I'm so excited about the Vikings game that's upcoming. This ties into the Genie lamp. This is where I was going with the bit. With the Genie's lamp, how about you go to the next Viking home game, which could be as soon as this next weekend, right? After 7 days off.
Possible.
Or after 6 or 7 days off, after they a week off, if they get a home game, and sell purple-colored paper bags and say hyperventilation excitement bag, and sell them outside the station or the stadium. Because if you're so excited for the start of the game, you need to And you could write the Horn has been reborn on the side. You don't think the hyperventilation bags
I don't know if that's going to go.
I had another idea. Remember this one?
Can you put the bag over your head if they lose 41 donuts?
See, now you're talking. Yeah. You have 2 bags.
Multi-purpose bag.
You have 2 ones. You have a bigger one. You buy both. You have one is to the bag over your head if you lose, and the other one is to hyperventilate before the game starts. People would buy this stuff. People will buy anything. They certainly will. Well, they're buying.
Just that Horn has been reborn T-shirts.
Well, except for the Horn has been reborn. Or they've been buying mine and yours for how many years now? They continue to come back. I don't know why. I think it's a genius idea. The Horn has been reborn, hyperventilation, the whole thing. I'm all for it. But I don't know if I can get anybody else to go along with it. But always looking for a way to make an extra buck. Here's a text that says, what's your planning with all the KFAN personalities? It's called the morning show. Well, I guess you're right. That's what I'm trying to do.
Morning show with Common.
Yeah, well, what I'm trying to play off their success.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Trying to get a piece of it.
Yeah. Look, all I'm trying to do is get them in to draw in more people so that I make more money. That's all I'm trying to do. It's really simple as that. And
They did the stand-up comedy thing once. I'm surprised they hadn't gotten back to it.
Yeah, they did it.
Because it was very popular.
Well, it was free, too. So let me just say this. You charge $30 for that, see how many people show up.
I still think we need to... Here's my idea for you. Do a KFAN roast of some sort. Have you seen those roasts they've had? Where they get a bunch of celebrities on... Like they have the Tom Brady roast on Netflix, right? Where it's just a bunch of people taking shots at Tom Brady, but then they're also roasting each other.
Okay.
Let's have a KFAN roast. Maybe it could be meat sauce. A meat sauce roast.
A Rosen roast.
Or a Rosen roast would work really well, too.
It's even got great alliteration.
He might be better because he's got the thicker skin.
Well, the morning show was all on him this morning, I was told. Buddy of mine was ducking in and out. Well, because they played the Rosen bit that yesterday when I asked him who that actor was, if he'd recognize his name. Yeah, she's an actress. And it turns out it was a male, and he tried to defend the fact that he knew who it was when he didn't know who it was because he identified the person with the wrong gender. Speaking of that, we'll do a peek at the purple next. I got a off the beaten path peek at the purple. We'll do that next. Lil be at 1:00. Then we'll talk a little distat lat till 1:30. And then, did you say it's Audra and Max in for Program Password?
Yes, Audra Martin and Max Fuller.
That'll be at 1:30. You got that. And then, of course, tend to be in our favorite segment of the week, the Victory Formation segment, 2:30 to 3 o'clock. All that and more, Common Man program on the Fan.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
This is, if I didn't know this was AI, I would think it's AC/DC.
The Upper Midwest biggest boat show is back. The Discover Boating Minneapolis Boat Show, in partnership with Progressive Insurance, is headed to the Minneapolis Convention Center January 23rd through the 26th. Head over to our contest page for your shot at a family 4-pack of tickets. That's KFAN.com. Keyword contest to enter.
How do they not have PJ Fleck involved with that? They could have a display where he sits in a boat and he just rows around and around and around at the boat show. Row the boat. I'm always thinking, Teneby, charge money for that,
Brilliant.
too. You know how Sauce always talks like this? He'll go like, Rosen is such a fraud. Rosen. He always kind of does that, Rosen. So I'm going to do Sauce's newest bit. He has changed his comedy material. It goes like this. You ever go to Target for diapers and come home with Home Alone 3 on Blu-ray DVD? It's new material. Instead of athletic socks, it's diapers, but his life has changed. It's the new meat sauce. Peek at the Purple is brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. They provide everything from whole house electrical safety inspections to 24-hour emergency electrical repairs. That is affordable-electric.com. Affordable Electric. Shockingly affordable. Going to be Neil Justin writes for the Fish Wrap Factory West Side. He writes entertainment. He's been writing entertainment for years. You're familiar with Neil, right, and his work. The headline for this story is 10 celebrities you didn't know were huge Viking fans. So it piqued my curiosity. The clickbait worked. But because I'm so out of touch with today's celebrities, I would have phrased this, 10 huge Viking fans that you didn't know were celebrities. You tell me how many of the names of these people you recognize.
Okay.
Now, the first one,
a couple of them I'll know.
Woody Harrelson. Everybody knows Woody Harrelson, right?
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson says, claim to fame, Oscar-nominated
He's an
actor.
actress, right?
Absolutely. Claim to fame, Oscar-nominated actress whose credits include Cheers and Wilson, which was filmed in the Twin Cities. By the way, it was filmed 2 blocks from my house.
Really?
In the same neighborhood. They used a house in the Woodbury area. Harrelson sported a Vikings jersey while attending the Vikings game in London earlier this year. He also visited training camp in 2019.
Huh. Now I remember the picture of him in London.
I don't recognize, I'm trying to think. I recognize one other name on this list, tend to be Gene Simmons.
Ooh.
Gene Simmons, of course, he was that kind of weird guy with the afro kind of hair that did the exercise show on TV, right? And apparently he wore a Vikings jersey during the exercise show one time. So Gene Simmons.
Spandex.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'm familiar with Gene Simmons. After that,
I always love that one.
Tell me, who's Biz Markie?
Rapper. Oh. He had a one-hit wonder.
What was the song?
It goes, you got what I need, but you say he's just a friend.
1989 hit, Just a Friend. Very good. So you knew Gene Simmons, and you knew
Biz Markie and Woody.
Woody Harrelson. So you're
I'm 3 for 3.
I'm 2 for 3. Tracy Letts.
No idea.
Tracy Letts, playwright and actor, married to Carrie Coon, who played a Minnesota police chief in the 3rd season of FX's Fargo. Okay. I thought that was a movie. They turned it into a television show as well. FX's
I always love that
Fargo.
one.
Do you know who Kelsey Anderson is?
No.
claim to fame, won the heart of Joey Grazadie in the 28th season of The Bachelor. Is that person really a celebrity?
In today's day and age, I guess, yes. They're now influencers. There's reality television celebrities.
Back in my day, celebrities were Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, Stiller and Mira, Sacco and Vanzetti, Raquel Welch. She should be in 3D. 3D, that's my apartment number. A reality.
But now if you're on The Bachelor. Yeah.
You're on The Bachelor. You're considered a celebrity.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea who Martha Raddatz is? Martha Raddatz.
I feel like I recognize the name, but I can't place it.
Claim to fame chief global correspondent for ABC News, and she's a familiar face on This Week with George Stephanopoulos.
Okay.
Raddatz, who grew up in Idaho and Utah, is known as a serious journalist, but she made time on This Week in 2023 to interview former Vikings quarterback Josh Dobbs after he came off the bench and led the team to victory. Co-anchor Jonathan Carl called the team Martha's Vikings. Not Martha's Vineyard, but Martha's Vikings. So I guess that makes her a Vikings fan. I mean, tend to be if I interviewed... Well, we've interviewed a member of the Frost before, right? Does that make me a Frost fan just because I did an interview? I don't know. Who is Sebastian Corda?
No idea.
Professional tennis player from Flo Rida, reaches highs number 15 in the world. I had no idea. I would have thought it was Nelly Corda's father or husband or something.
I want to know how they become Vikings fans.
Are you familiar with this name? Well, let's see what it says about her. Oh, former tennis pro Marty Fish, an Edina native, turned Corda onto the Vikings, but it was watching Kirk Cousins on Netflix's quarterback docuseries that made him a diehard believer.
Huh.
The fans are insane. He told Tennis.com in December after seeing his first game at US Bank Stadium, the atmosphere was one of the best I've seen in sports. Sebastian Corda. Do you have any idea who Chris Jericho is?
Wrestler.
Yes.
Yes.
Chris Jericho, claim to fame, pro wrestler who has also fronted the heavy metal band Fozzy.
I did not know that.
Well, I should have known that because Fozzy, Metallica, Vomiting Rats.
And Fozzy.
Five Finger Death Punch and Fozzy. You know who's a background singer? Henry Winkler. Background singer. A section. He also appeared on Dancing with Stars. Heavy metal guy, but dancing for certain big old boots on, chains, leather stuff.
He's an athlete.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
He's got some strength.
Jericho's dad played pro hockey. Jericho didn't get into the NFL until his marriage to Hibbie native Jessica Lockhart. On the Rich Eisen show 6 years ago, he was still smarting overseas and then he lost to the Bears. It was the worst. It was the worst. He sounds a lot like Meat Sauce. We had a good time still. He went to the game, despite the fact he still had a good time. Wesley Matthews.
No idea.
Veteran NBA shooting guard who played for 8 different teams.
Oh.
Matthews should be a Packers fan. He was named Wisconsin Mr. Basketball in high school, played at Marquette University, had 2 separate stints with the Bucks. When it comes to football, he's all about Minnesota. When he played for the Mavs, he watched the Vikings-Seahawks 2016 wildcard game from the Target Center locker room in a Viking stocking cap. He seemed genuinely heartbroken when Blair Walsh missed a field goal that would have meant a victory, which eventually led to a very uncomfortable moment between me and Blair Walsh. And then Hannah Frankson.
No idea.
Fitness guru and one of Peloton's most recognizable instructors.
Lil B would know who she is.
Lil B would know.
Yeah.
The Brit, who only recently started following the NFL, latched onto the Vikes when they were in London. Safety Josh Metellus and wideout coach Keenan McCardle both stopped by her studio. Her videos from her inaugural visit to US Bank Stadium earlier this season focused on the cheerleaders and a halftime corgi race than the actual game. So, do these really count as fans? Warren's a fan. PA's a fan. What? PA's insane. Those are real fans, right? Are these people really fans? Oh, I got his connection. And do you think they're going to Arizona to see this game? Do you think they're buying a purple hyperventilation paper bag that says Horn has been reborn on it. No, I don't believe these people are that hardcore fans. And
they're casuals.
They're casuals. And this whole list, and again,
I was surprised why wasn't like Josh Duhamel on there.
Well, I don't know. Well, because
what's Meat Sauce's guy, the comedian?
Well, I think it's because it says 10 celebrities
that you didn't know.
Were huge
so
Vikings.
Those are the obvious ones.
Yeah. And
it's like Lizzo. She's a Vikings fan.
She mentioned them in
dated one apparently, according to a song.
Okay, and then she did the song where she mentions the Vikings, and then former late night Kilborn. We know he's a Wolves fan. Is he a Vikings fan as well? My guess is he probably is. So those are the list of people that were Viking fans. Lavelle Neal III, who is a esteemed columnist for the Fish Wrap Factory on the West Side, wrote a piece that I referenced earlier in the week. It was Neil, relax, Vikings fans, it's going to be fine. And he goes through a list of reasons why he feels the Vikings are still in an excellent position to advance through the playoffs and get to the big game. And I'm wondering, does he really believe that? Or is he trying to placate his readership? In other words, if you sell hope to people, and he goes, I don't really believe this, but if I do the quack, quack, ducky and bunny approach, and if you look at some of the comments, thanks, Lavelle, I really needed that. Because there were fans that were genuinely concerned, depressed, beside themselves after that loss to the Lions. Terrible team, terrible city, terrible fans. It's over. Get rid of Darnold. Fire KOC. If Kwesi gets a call about a trade for him, we'll take a first in a couple of seconds. And if you're Rick Spielman, you'll take 3 six-round draft picks in a 7th, right? Then Lavelle says, don't despair. There's still plenty to look forward to. Then his compatriot, if that's the right word, Jim Suhan writes a piece basically saying the same thing. Here's the headline for Vikings' path to Super Bowl is clear because NFC playoff field is flawed. And he points out, he says, he goes through each and every, first of all, he goes through all the other Vikings teams that came close, right? 98, 2000, 87, blah, 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 blah. And says, maybe the only real team, 2 teams were probably really equipped to get there, and that would have been the 98 team and the 2009 team, right? But then he goes up and he dismisses the Lions. He says the Lions are in the top seed primarily because the Vikings didn't take advantage of receivers running open all over the field. Forget the national narrative that Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn performed magic. With decent quarterback play, the Vikings would have scored more than 30 points. That Lions defense will not hold up against a quality offensive performance. So he's dismissing the Lions, saying they're doomed to be eliminated from the playoffs. Number 2 seed Eagles have a running quarterback who just came out of the concussion protocol. Brilliant play of running back Saquon Barkley and Vic Fangio's exceptional work with the defense has obscured problems in the Eagles' passing game. Eliminate the Eagles from any opportunity to get by the Vikings or any other team to get to the big game. Number 3 seed Buccaneers finished 18th in yards allowed, 16th in points allowed. Their offense was stunning. They also played in a bad division, are just 6-5 since October 21st, and haven't beaten a good team since their victory over Philadelphia and Tampa. Dismiss the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, they are no threat to the Minnesota Vikings or any other team in the playoff field. The 4th-seeded Rams would be a tough matchup for the Vikings. If football's the only consideration, the NFL made the right decision to move the game. So now, because of the fire, they moved the game. They don't have home field advantage anymore. And in terms of football, the Rams finished the season 10-7, played in a weaker division, and have 1 win over a playoff team, Buffalo, on December 8th, since beating the Vikings. So dismiss the Rams that hasn't any opportunity to win. The number 6-seeded Commanders are impressive and promising, largely because of rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels. But how often does a rookie quarterback lead a playoff run? Stroud didn't do it. So eliminate the Commanders from having any opportunity to get to the big game. Number 7 seeded Packers lost top seed receiver Christian Watson to knee injury, and starting quarterback Jordan Love is dealing with an injured elbow. The Packers have lost 2 in a row in 3 of their past 5. Even after the loss in Detroit, the Vikings have a reasonable path to the Super Bowl. This would be a good month for the Vikings to have a good month to stave off typical Vikings regrets.
Did Paul Allen write this story?
That's as ducky and bunny as you get. And the only reason I pick on LaBelle Lee Neal and Jim Souhan, because they did that to me. They made the accusation and went back when the announcement was made that the poll ads were going to explore the intent to explore, however you say it, to sell the Minnesota Twins. And you know, I've been as vocal. I've been as critical of the Vikings of the Twins and their ownership as anybody for 2 decades. I've been originally started on the 50,000 watt soapbox when we were on the AM frequency, AM 1130. Then it continued on until when we moved over to FM 100.3, the Fan, where we've been now for, 10, 12, 15, I don't know how many years it's been now. And they did a podcast together along with, I don't recall who it was. And they were basically talking about the KFAN effect on the Twins' decision to move and basically blamed me. Souhan said, I like Common. I chat because we run into each other covering golf tournaments and I get along with. I think he's a terrific writer. I think he's got a really good sense of humor. I think he does a nice job. He's great at what he does. And I don't always agree with him. Like Tenby, there are times you agree with you and I agree and disagree all the time.
Yeah.
It just happens. That's okay. It's just sports. It doesn't matter. But they basically said that the only reason I've had my opinion about the poll ads is to curry favor with my audience. That I can't possibly believe all that. They know that Common knows what his audience wants to hear, and so he gives it to them. It's like giving them red meat, right? Well, if that's true with me, why isn't it true with you? Why do you single out me as the guy that, like, I'm actually sitting at home before I go to bed going, now generally I go over my round in my head. Do you want me to go over my last 9 holes of Baby Brother Peter on Memorial Day Sunday this past week when I shot a 72 up at the Pines?
I'm good.
I remember every shot on the backside of the marsh. And I'll go over my round in my head to go. They think I'm going to bed going, I wonder what my listeners want to hear. I really don't believe the Vikings can beat Detroit in the final game of the season, but I know that's what they want to hear, so I'm going to pick Vikings 38-24. Maybe there's people out there that think that's exactly what I did. Apparently Souhan and Lavelle think so, and who knows how many countless others. Can it just be possible that I really thought the decimated Detroit defense wasn't going to be, I was impressed with the Vikings. The team lifted Sam Darnold onto their shoulders 6 days before that or 7 days before that in triumph. He had one of his best games of his career against the Green Bay Packers. They'd won 9 games in a row. The defense is ranked 2nd in the National Football League. How could you not believe that they would have a better than even chance of beating the Motor City Kitties, even if it was at the litter box in Pontiac? I didn't say that because I know the listeners will like me more and maybe they'll listen longer. Does it sound like I've ever cared about any of that? How many times have I dismissed the Wild, the Wolves, the Gophers, the Vikings, and the Twins? And most of our listeners are fans. That's why we call ourselves the Fan. So they want the local. Everybody here, Tenby, do you like parades?
I do.
I think most of our listeners like parades. Yet, one of my Wednesday used to be a Wing It Wednesday. It's now called a Wet Blanket Wednesday because all I do is pour water on all the hopes and dreams of local sports fans. Just pointing out what I think is the obvious. Most of our teams have from, at minimum, minor flaws to major flaws. So how am I supposed to believe if that's the case, if that's what media people do, they're just in the business of selling hope, or they're in the business of placating their audience with their takes that they don't really believe? Well, then how can I think anything else with these guys? Is that fair?
Very fair.
I mean, don't you think?
Yeah.
And they would say, no, I actually...
Sounds very logical to me.
I texted LaBelle about when he first did it. He debated it with me. No, not... Of course, it's different with you.
Yeah, because you don't think the same way they do.
Well, that's exactly right. And it's because, I guess at the end of the day, they do realize they were wrong about the poll ads. That you do have to spend money at least once in a while in order to compete. And when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, spend a couple of extra dollars. Now, we'll see if that does make a difference. Because if they do indeed sell, and the news broke, we broached the topic. We didn't get deep into it because we don't know who the names of these people are. But who was it that had the tweet? Was it Dan Hayes? Didn't he have the tweet that you sent it to me?
Yes.
That said something to the effect that...
Did a story on it.
This could be done, the sale of the Twins could be done by as soon as opening day because there was a robust market for the Minnesota Twins, including the brothers that own the Phoenix Suns. And their track record there shows that they've been more than willing to spend money to improve the team, and they even cut costs on concessions. And like you said, they made a TV deal that was more palatable for fans. So they seem to be fan-friendly. They want to make money, but they also want to win. That's what they're in it for. Most owners are in it to win. Some just make the wrong decisions. So, and don't get me started again about, well, you know what? It's easy to spend other people's money. There is no salary cap in Major League Baseball. You can spend whatever you want. So, I have to do it, and I'm never going to, I'm sorry. If you think I regurgitate material, I'll never stop on the people that accuse me of trying to placate my audience. Most of my audience hates me.
You're trying to anger them and annoy them half the time.
I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get them going. We do the things where I'll say something and the guy will call it in and go, Common, that wasn't John Mellencamp. That was Tom Petty.
It's not Washington. There's no R in Washington.
And then I throw out how tall are you and how much do you weigh? And you reel them in. It's like...
It's not mute point.
No, it's not moot. Yeah. It's not a mute point. I get that. It's not recant. Common, you're using recant in the wrong way. I know, it's a bit. This sounds a little bit like...
television theme song, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or it'd be like maybe a England Dan and John Ford Cole. It does sound like kind of a TV show theme song, right? The Power Trip Morning Show starting Meat Sauce. And they show Meat Sauce doing something kind of wacky. Corey Cove holding up the initials game. Chris Hockey tearing his shirt off in studio. Yeah, it would make a good television show.
Tommy Olsen wearing his tight shorts.
And people in this town would watch a show like that. It would get huge. I'd watch it.
If they did a reality show on the Power Trip Morning Show, people would watch.
That's what they ought to do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. We'll take a break. We'll come back. That was Peek at the Purple, by the way, is a long version of it brought to you by AffordableElectric.com. Lil B, Feminine Touch next. Common Man program on the
fan.
Yeah, baby.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
At Crunch Fitness, we know the difference between feeling bad and feeling good. But dialing your ex feels bad.
Sam? Hey, Sam?
But dialing in your fitness routine feels good. Hearing they want to get back together feels bad.
Sam, are we back?
Working your back at Crunch feels good. Having to change your number feels bad.
The number you have dialed is over you.
Lifting a huge number of pounds feels good.
Nice!
So feel good, not bad. Join from $9.99 at Crunch.com or your local Crunch gym.